ಸೋಡಮ್ಮ ಬಂತಾರೋಡು
ಎಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಸರ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ
ಬಂತಪ್ಪ. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ,
ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್.
ಹುಷಾರಾಗಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸರ್. ಸರ್ ಸರ್ ಓಡಾಡ್ಬೇಡಿ ಸರ್.
Good morning all. We, on this auspicious occasion of post the budget in Bangalore, this press conference is being held. We welcome our party president for Karnataka, B.Y. Vijayan Raji, who is the most dynamic and who is the party president, the young party president, who is taking everybody together, who is also showing Karnataka the new path. As well, we welcome Nirmala Sitharamanji, the Finance Minister of India, who has presented 7 consecutive budgets. It's a record by itself. As well as I welcome all the journalists, including the photographers and the journalists, as well as all the party karyakartas. I request Madam to begin her speech.
Namaskara. You're aware that all over the country, ministers are today meeting the press and talking to them about the salient features of our budget presented this time. It is still in the parliament. It has to be passed between now and the 12th of August. I'm not even sure if you want an opening statement, because I'm sure all of you have gone through the budget in all its features, but I'll just highlight some of the main aspects of what this budget presents. It certainly looks at, in fact, there is this word employment, which I have used, and I did put it out in the media conference in Delhi. Each letter of that word employment, E stands for employment, M stands for middle class, and so on. So if you go down, that will capture everything which is in this year's budget. But highlighting some of the features, we have very clearly laid the emphasis on youth, on MSMEs. So under each category there will be a set of announcements. So some set of announcement under youth, some set of announcement under MSME. I'm only capturing the main things. Research and development, agri research and development separately, and use of DPI in agriculture, but at a very high scale. So DPI, Bangalore is familiar, and actually the kind of contribution which the Silicon Valley of India has made towards the creation of DPI, we are all very familiar with it. But we want that kind of a digital public infrastructure created purely for agriculture. So that will be of several heads. I'll elaborate it a bit later. Then you have a big investment, meaning big announcement and an outlay made for space. So that is another picture. Youth, MSME, R&D, agri R&D. Then I'm talking about space and about middle class. So if I were to broadly categorize under each one of them, I can give you several things that we've taken as steps. Some tax related, some scheme related, some outlays. So you can imagine the budget broadly under these categories. But over and above that is the revenue share. Because I'm in Karnataka and the discussion has, since the time I've presented the budget, been on what is the kind of, what's the kind of allocations for states? Is the budget being biased because it didn't, in this speech, name all states? So I want to clarify, or even at the beginning, put forward to you as to what will be the revenue share and what will be the kind of allocations for Karnataka. After that, of course, you can always ask me questions about anything more that you want to But I can, at your choice, either say the apportionment for Karnataka a bit later if you want, or I'll do it upfront. But if I have to start, so the 7 main features I've already mentioned to you, and on the revenue share, I will get into the details. See, when I'm talking about the youth, we have offered 3 different components of schemes creating jobs. First timers entering into job, what benefit do they get? What benefit the employers get for that? Then another set of announcement for a second scheme wherein again employment, but not necessarily for first timers, but even for people who are coming in a bit later in life also. And a third one, helping the employers, and all these 3 would be monitored through EPFO. Skilling is one thing in which, together with the states, we want the ITIs in the states to become centers of training youth for Industry 4.0 skills. Today, when youth come out of schools or early colleges, they get trained for the same skills, like go and do a lathe machine or a welding shop and so on. But what we want is upskilling, meaning even as you come out, you should be ready for getting into a Industry 4.0 kind of a modernized industry. So that kind of a training. And the other one, the 5th one in that youth, is for internship in top 500 companies of the country, wherein we pay them every month and the companies provide them the opportunity, and also the instructors will help them to undertake it. Because we are talking of youth, we are also giving 10 lakhs of subsidized or interest subvented loans for education, higher education. This is directly going to benefit middle class families and for those who want to study in India. There is also a revamping of the model skill loan scheme, which facilitates up to 7.5 lakh rupees for skilling yourself. It can give loans, and we expect to cover 25,000 students through this model skilling loan scheme. MSME, I've already announced 8 different measures for it. Particularly 2 or 3 I'd like to highlight. MSMEs used to get loan from scheduled commercial banks only for their working capital. Now through this budget, we have given them, the banks will provide them loans for buying machinery, buying equipments, which was never given to MSMEs. This time we are giving, for which they don't need to give any collateral. They don't need to give a third party guarantee. Government stands guarantee and gives them loan for buying their equipment like any other big company would. They'll get for plant and machinery, they'll also get for working capital. Now we are extending that facility to MSMEs also. That is one. Second, in order that banks understand how to deal with MSMEs, most often the complaint is scheduled commercial banks deal with big companies, they don't understand the turnover cycle of MSMEs, and therefore they can't understand the business, so they don't probably prefer giving loans for MSMEs. To overcome that problem, banks will also do. We are saying SIDBI, the Small Industries Development Bank of India, go and open branches in clusters, MSME cluster. Immediately in Bengaluru, you think of Pina. If there is a SIDBI there, it's fine. If not, I will have SIDBI come and set up branch there so that they can directly lend for small industries, MSMEs. Then we are also creating export hubs for MSMEs so that small industry, which is the backbone of India, can have every facility for finding global market and for exporting. Other one major issue which MSMEs have been telling us is in the banks, by 45th day, if they are under stress, the bank notices and puts them in a stressed management account, SMA account. And if they are put into that SMA account, they don't get any assistance from the bank. They don't have working capital, also doesn't come anymore. Earlier they used to get working capital, but once they are put under SMA, they don't get working capital. and by 60th day, they are put into the second grade of SMA, and by 90th day, they become NPAs, non-performing assets. So MSMEs had a problem. They said we can't get out of this cycle. So today, Government of India under Prime Minister Modi's leadership has created a fund which will work with banks and ensure that whether it is the 45th day when they start becoming under stress, banks should continue to give them working capital, and somehow to get them out of the stress situation, they should help them. We have provided the fund for that. So the banks cannot have any more hesitation in solving them to come out of it. There are other two measures, but I'm sure we are going to circulate both in Kannada and English press release, which will feature all these items. So I won't get into details there. Then I told you R&D, one of the things which I started telling you about this budget. R&D has a great potential to help Bengaluru. See, Anusandhan National Research Fund is 1 lakh crore, and that can help setting up, and that money will also be available for private sector for R&D. So tech-savvy youth who are here, who want to highlight the innovation and take it higher and further, can get assistance for carrying out the research till they attain commercial viability. Then I told you about the DPI, which we want to elaborate in agriculture sector. Bengaluru will contribute to that DPI creation for agriculture and for expanding it so that it reaches the proportion of the payment DPIs that you get to know of. You know, all of us do our payments, buy and sell goods. Like that, for agriculture, there will have to be a DPI created, for which we think there will be a big contribution from Bengaluru. Venture capital fund of 1,000 crores has been created for space sector, with ISRO being in South India, with Bengaluru having a lot of ISRO related or space related startups. This money is going to help Bengaluru in a big way. Above all, most startups have been having this grievance that funding comes to them through venture capital funds, and when we have the angel tax, they are scared to come with the money, and angel tax should be removed. We have abolished it in this budget. I'm sure immediately some of you all will think, why did you bring it in the first place and why are you removing it now? I'd like to submit to you that angel tax was brought by the UPA government in 2012. We tried removing one by one some of the hindrances as was perceived by the startups. Every year we did some kind of a tinkering. But clearly, we have now decided that in favor of further funding for startup, we should remove it. So abolition of angel tax happens in this budget. Then there are also transit-oriented development plans for cities. 14 large cities are being planned for it. Bengaluru will be one of them to benefit from it. And population about 30 lakh is what we have given as a condition. So obviously, Karnataka can derive benefit from it. Then cities as growth hubs, there is a huge attempt to make sure that within the existing city, by using better urban planning, we will be able to have better living conditions within those cities. The peri-urban areas can be utilized, for which we shall work with the state governments. And Bengaluru is one of the biggest cities of India. It needs that kind of an approach for planning. That will also benefit Bengaluru. Then the PM Awas Yojana 2.0 has been announced. 1 crore urban poor people and middle class families will be addressed with an investment of 10 lakh crores. Total kitty is that. So if urban housing is happening, Bengaluru can derive benefit from it. Obviously, the central assistance will be about 2.2 lakh crore in the next 5 years. Interest subsidy will also be available for those who are going to come into this scheme. Women's workforce participation data has come out, and you saw that between 17 and 18, when it was 23.3%, now to 23, it has come to 37%. Women now are an active workforce participating members. So we have in this budget given 3 lakh crores for women-led development. Working women's hostels will be built. Creches will be built, so the women who are moving from one town to another have an accommodation to be and to work from. So that is being provided. I quickly move on to talking about high value agricultural tech. So in that, Karnataka will benefit because this is a huge allocation done for Indian Council of Agricultural Research, and that University of Agricultural Sciences Bengaluru and University of Agricultural Sciences Raichur will benefit from this agricultural research focus that we are giving. Climate resilient seeds, 109 of them will be released, particularly for North Karnataka, where vagaries of drought or flood affect our farmers. These drought resistant and climate resistant seeds will be of great help for farmers in Karnataka. Then I already sort of mentioned about how DPI in agriculture will be a very important play point, and on that I find Bengaluru startups can contribute towards improving and bringing in the DPI. 10,000 bio-input resource centers are going to be established in this country. This will be a need-based program because we want 1 crore farmers of this country to move towards natural farming. That again will help to cut down on the input costs of farmers. That will be also a very important step which will benefit Karnataka. I'll add one more which will be specifically helpful for Karnataka, for Bengaluru city and for cities which are elsewhere also. We are planning to have large-scale clusters for vegetable production outside of such cities, which normally suffer when logistics get affected, when rains get affected. City residents can't get enough vegetables, particularly the perishable kind. So this budget announces that as well. Basic customs duty on several items has been brought down with an intention that the raw material for small and medium industries, which give a lot of jobs, should not become very expensive. In order to bring them down in their cost, we brought down basic customs duty, and they are done with a specific interest of labor-intensive sectors, and that will actually benefit Karnataka, because all over the state you have MSMEs who also want raw materials coming from elsewhere. I look at the tax regime for middle class. Specifically for middle class, we had brought in some interventions. I want to explain that. Standard deduction has been raised to 75,000 from 50,000 rupees. Deduction for family pension of pensioners is proposed to be enhanced from 15,000 to 25,000. So this will provide relief for 4 crore salaried people, both individuals and pensioners. Then tax slabs under the new regime has been changed. So you already know that there is no income tax to be paid for those with incomes up to 7.75 lakhs per annum. So as a result of these changes, we think 17,500 rupees will be saved from paying income tax. So that will be the middle class's money in the hand rather than paying the income tax. There is also a Vivad Se Vishwas scheme which has been announced, so that some income tax disputes which are pending, they are pending in appeal. We want to address all of them and sort it out. Earlier also there was a Vivad Se Vishwas, you all know about it. Then in order to improve social security benefits, deduction of expenditure by employers towards NPS is proposed from 10 to 14%. This was available for public sector, the government and so on, but not for the private sector. We've brought this now so that the private sector employees and the employers benefit from it. I'll move over to talking about central transfers to Karnataka, which have increased substantially. This is a point on which you have a lot of misinformation in Karnataka, inclusive of the government. Inclusive the government of today keeps telling people that, oh, the central government doesn't give Karnataka its due. Completely false. Once earlier I had come and given all the data. Now I will explain it again so that our media friends will understand it, would want to ask more questions on it, I'm willing to answer. But it is a wrong prachar which the current government in Karnataka keeps doing, which I'm sorry is not helping anybody, leave alone central government. Even people of Karnataka are not getting the factual information. So I want to put the facts before you. Between 2004 and 14, when UPA government was in power in Delhi, Karnataka received only 81,791 crores over 10 years. 81,791 crores. Between 2014 and 24, 10 years under Prime Minister Modi, Karnataka received 2,95,818 crores. Yes, UPA 81,791 crores. NDA between 14 and 24, 295,818. 295,818. So NDA 295,818, UPA 81,791. Grants and aid 60,779 under UPA, 60,779 crores under UPA, those 10 years. Under Prime Minister Modi, 2,36,955, 955, 236,955. I repeat, grants and aid from Government of India under UPA 2004 to 14, 60,779 crores. Under Prime Minister Modi 2014 to 24, 236,955 crores. For the year, this year, 24-25, this 1 year, earlier I gave you total for 10 years. Total for 10 years grants, total for 10 years tax devolution. Now I am giving you tax devolution for this 1 year under this budget. 45,485. Under tax devolution this year between 24-25. So quickly, if I have to compare, under UPA per annum you had 8,179 crores. Per annum under UPA 8,179 crores. This year alone, 1 year, 45,485 crores. Are you all right? Do you want me to repeat the numbers? I gave you 10-year total for tax devolution under UPA as 81,791, which means every year for 10 years they had only 8179 crores. 2014 to 24 tax devolution 2,95,818 crores. Okay? Stop me where you want me to repeat. So if you look at tax devolution, where it was 8179 crore per year. Yeah, I gave 10 years total first. Now 1 year is 8179. Now this 1 year under Modi 3.0, Karnataka gets 45,485. Just no comparison. Just no comparison. And therefore, I request media friends to look at the data and ask questions where you should ask. ये गलत प्रचार क्यों हो रहा है? Why is the wrong प्रचार going on? Okay, I spoke about grants in aid. I said for 10 years under UPA, 60,779 crores. I already gave this figure. Yeah, 60,779. For 10 years under Modi, 1 and 2, it was 2,36,955. 236,955 crores under Modi 1 and 2. Now, which means under UPA between 2004 and 14, it was 6,077 crores only per annum. 6077 crores per annum. Now what are we giving under grants and aid for this year, 24-25? 15,300 crores. 15,300 crores. All right. So that was one item I gave you, tax devolution. Second, I've said this before, Finance Commission has not forced Government of India to give for state for building their infrastructure any money. But after COVID, Prime Minister Modi said we should give money to the states so that they can build and come recovering fast. So, Karnataka till 2023-24, till March 24 of this year, beginning 2020-21, received a total of 8,312 crore rupees. 8,312 crore. Interest free. 50 year. You can keep it. 50th year, let's see what's happening with it. 8,312 crores. This year, and I'm giving the number which will be even more than what I'm giving, but I'm giving the bottom line. 2,006 crores, 2,006 crores, untied, meaning with no conditions attached, we are giving that much. With some reform condition attached, we might give more. But I'm giving that which is untied, 2,006 crores. Now if I add this also, Karnataka by the end of this year would have received 10,041 crores, 50-year interest-free from Government of India. 10,041 crores. Then go over to the next point. PM Mitra Mega Textile Park. That was only about 7 textile parks were being given all over the country. Karnataka has got one. It is in Kalburgi. Original budget for this, each one of them for the 7 Mitra parks was only 3 crore. But in the last budget, 23-24 budget, it was enhanced to 200 crores each Mitra park. Which means Kalburgi will get the Mitra Mega Industrial Textile Park. Exclusively getting 200 crores for that one project only. Alright, then move over to the railways. This number will shock you if you really want to look at the truth. Allocation for railway between 2009 and 14, UPA's second phase, was 835 crores for Karnataka. 835 crores between 2009 and 14. Allocation for railways in 24-25 budget, please listen to this carefully. I said 9 to 14 was 835 crores. Now, this budget allocates 7,559 crores for Karnataka. For railways alone. 7, you heard the earlier number, na? Okay. 9 to 14, it was 835 crores. Now, in 24-25, in this budget alone, 7,559 crores. Just to give you breakdown of some of the projects, ongoing projects, for laying new tracks. 31 projects are ongoing. 3,840 kilometer rail tracks have been laid. 3,840 kilometers. And so what is the value of the ongoing projects? 47,016 crores. Only for railways in Karnataka for the existing ongoing projects. Since 2014, to understand how this works out, 638 railway flyovers have been built. Railways flyover. 7 Vande Bharat trains have been operationalized. I'm sure I don't need to tell you the destinations and the route, you know about it. So that's about railways alone. I'll quickly move over to the other major decisions where central funds come and they set up. IIT Dharwad, March 23. First industrial corridor for South India was inaugurated by Prime Minister in Tumkur, because that is a part of the Chennai-Bengaluru corridor. There are other 3 nodes. One is in Tumkur, Karnataka. Another is Krishnapatnam in Andhra Pradesh. A third one is Ponneri in Tamil Nadu. But this Tumkuru got inaugurated by PM. 7 cities in Karnataka have been selected for smart cities, you know it. More than, I'm giving you amount, please write it down. More than 6,428 crores have been given to Karnataka, money already released for smart city mission. 904 projects worth 15,000 crore. Work orders have been issued already. Work orders are already issued. So what is given to Karnataka? Amount is given, work is happening, orders have been placed on the ground, it is moving. So I want you to please take, ma'am, you want something? You want me to repeat the number? Okay. Then come over, because of all these policies and because of the favorable environment we tried to create in the center and state government also, you had in January 2024, Boeing India, which is a private company, I am not taking credit for it, but because the larger policies are all favorable, Boeing India Engineering and Technology Center built its biggest campus in Bengaluru. That's their biggest outside of US. Nowhere else. They didn't go to China, they didn't go to any other country, they came and set it up here. And that is an investment of 1,600 crores. These things don't happen in isolation. If policy support, other opening up, with Government of India supporting in FDI rules, investments come. I quickly move over to roadways for Karnataka. 4,600 kilometer roads have been constructed already. NDA government has invested more than 1 lakh crore in highways related projects in Karnataka only in the recent years. Just for highway related, the total money which has come is over 1 lakh crores. Okay. Many greenfield corridors are being built under Bharatmala Pariyojana Phase 1. I'll just name 3 of them. Bengaluru-Chennai Expressway, Bengaluru Ring Road, Solapur-Kurnool-Chennai Corridor. These 3 are happening under the roads. Then of course air connectivity, 7 operationalized airports under UDAN. All of them are nicely getting modernized. Then you know the newly constructed Shivamogga Airport has been inaugurated in February 23. Also in March, the foundation stone for a new terminal building in Hubli and Belgavi have been established. Now if all this is the side of the central government, without going into details because you're all people in the ground here, what is the state government's contribution? High inflation, much higher than the national average. And how am I saying that? Inflation between June 23 and June 24, the national average was 5.4%. Karnataka is at 6.1%. Okay? And what's the contrast within Karnataka? Between June 22 and May 23, Karnataka was lower than the national average. What was the national average at that time? 6%. But Karnataka kept its inflation rate at 5.39%. So there was a year, not too far away, when inflation was lesser in Karnataka than the national average. But now inflation is higher than the national average. You know the reasons for it. I'll highlight the reasons. Petrol price was hiked by 3 rupees for petrol and 3.5 for diesel. Milk prices have gone up by 5 rupees. Property guidance value has been hiked from 25% to 30%. Stamp duty charges have increased by 200 to 500%. Vehicle registration fees have been hiked by 3%. An additional 10% lifetime tax on EV vehicles have been imposed. So inflation is naturally higher than national average. Revenue deficit, very high. Capital expenditure spending not happening or even reduced, with statements saying because I'm doing all the welfare which I promised, all the 5 package that I've given, I can't spend money on capital expenditure. If you don't spend money on capital expenditure, employment is not going to come to Karnataka. You won't have your youth getting employed. Unless capital expenditure money is spent, your demand will not increase, consumption will not increase, youth employment will not happen. But capital expenditure is not happening in Karnataka. Open market borrowings are increased. It's already touched over 1 lakh crore. Borrowing after borrowing to, fulfill the promise. Then there was a time when Karnataka was revenue surplus, not very far away, just 2 years ago. But now it is revenue deficit. Industry is leaving. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to take the names of the companies who are going out. You all know it also. Law and order is worsening. And because law and order is worsening, industry is more scared to be here. They want to get out. Worst is of the lot. SC/ST funds being siphoned off and putting the blame on everybody else. Particularly on the Valmiki, you know the kind of scandal which is going on. I don't want to elaborate on it. There are more that I can speak on what is happening in Karnataka. With this administration, a state which was healthy, a state which was revenue surplus, a state which was spending on capital expenditure, a state which drew investment into Karnataka, today is frightening investments out of the state. And because of the various steps that they are taking one after the other, I'm not sure even if they're consulting industry, if they're consulting stakeholders. So I'll stop there. Thank you for listening to me patiently. You can always ask me.
So Chief Minister means to say that Finance Minister is accountable for this. She has to answer.
Absolutely. Yeah, he can say because he's quite used to talking like this. and his hallmark is more than good governance, he speaks like this. And people think, oh wow, chamatkar se baat kar diya, Hindi mein bolte hai na. Oh, what a brilliant way to communicate. That's not responsible. You had your minister resigned under public view. You had your people tell that the money has been siphoned off and taken into private accounts. Action has already been taken as a first step against the conniving officials in the bank. And further lawful action will be taken against them. No protection will be offered to them, I'm sure. But here, for a minister who had to resign under whose very nigrani, as they say, under whose oversight this has happened, attempt to deny, attempt to shift blame, attempt to, say there's no scandal happening. SC/ST money, yeah. Oh, media, leave all this natak, nautanki which happens here. Whose money was taken away? Valmiki communities. Is there no sense of outrage? They talk about nyai during election campaign. Is this nyai to the SC and STs? I want media to ask. Bank is also doing, how come you, who has the authority on the account, you and your minister, didn't stop the bank? Let me ask reverse. अरे बैंक official को पकड़ करके police station ले जाते थे. If only they had taken the official saying, hey, this fellow is taking away our Valmiki community people's money, I am sending him to the police station, that will give the right to the chief minister to say, oh, central government, Nirmala Sitharaman resigned. You didn't take your official to the police station? My bank official also you take, I have no problem. If they've done wrong, they should be punished. You didn't take them to police station. You denied the whole thing. Your minister did not even resign. And the money which has gone into a private account, you go to the assembly to say, no, it is not 180, 140, it's only some 84 crores. You are conceding, sir, that this is the kind of outrageous thing which is happening, particularly on SC/ST money. No, I've already taken action on the bank staff. Further punishment, further legal, prosecution will have to happen on the bank staff. I'm glad you're asking me this question. But what is action from the state government on the minister?
All these issues to President Sports, here you approach governor. Are you going to take?
No, I've taken action is what I'm saying. Very well for the state party to do what it thinks fit. I have taken action against the officials. I want them to be punished for the connivance which they did with the state government official. From my side, the action is open. I want to ask you, for having conceded on the floor of the House that it is not that amount but this amount is also being taken from Valmiki, na? And this is being taken from a government account, na? And this money which is taken is gone to a private account, no? So what is the Chief Minister's action on it? I ask you in return. That's a totally different issue. It had come just before the budget to me. At that time, it was too late for me to take even a call. So let's see. I'm not assuring anything because there has to be some kind of a study by concerned 2 or 3 departments. We'll have to take a call.
The Chief Minister has called this as a disappointing budget. He says that Karnataka's main demands have not been met. One is the 5,300 crores that you have announced for Upper Bhadra project. He says the funds have still not been delivered. Secondly, he says that even with the budget, AIMS Raichu, that is the project that has been requested for. That is also not announced, is what he's saying. And thirdly, funds for the peripheral ring road. So all these issues are taken up, but it's not been met, is what Chief Minister is saying.
I've read out a lot of things which I've given for Karnataka. Okay? Thank you.
Enhancement of central share in housing schemes, but enhancement of 1 hour for
But Asha workers' business is not just Karnataka, no, it's also for the rest of the country. So that is a different issue altogether. I thought everybody said over. Hmm? Huh. Yeah, I heard. Huh. Why he didn't come to the meeting that we stopped his mic? So, West Bengal Chief Minister came. It was good that she came. She voiced a view. It was good that she voiced a view. Then she said she is also speaking on behalf of all opposition, which is very well. We heard her for the allotted due time. She spoke and we heard her. If she wanted more time to speak, easily, like the other chief ministers, even she would have got more time. But she went outside and said, my mic was put off, I walked out of the meeting. That was wrong, completely false. Now, you asked me also as to, even CM from here has not attended, opposition fully didn't attend, which is a sad thing. They always say, our voice is not being heard. This is a forum to come and speak your voice. To an extent, Mamata Banerjee ji, she was right. She came and voiced. And of course, afterwards, she said something else different. All opposition leaders, I wish they had come and voiced their view.
And two important discussions are going on in Karnataka regarding reservation only for Kannadigas. Other thing is 14-hour work for instance. How does Finance Minister say this?
If the state government is doing something, I wouldn't comment on it, because after all, that state government is the one which has brought the revenue deficit to the state, brought the state into such a situation that they are borrowing without limit. This was before the election also. They said this Aropa, saying ED is being misused. If ED goes and finds so much from black money sources, you want them, no, because Congress will get unhappy, don't go ED. That's what they did during the period. They did not allow CBI to take action because they knew their own ministers will be caught. We have given them the freedom, let them do what they want. And actually, therefore, wherever they go for search, they're coming with wall level cash, suitcase full of gold. Black money has to be searched and found out. That's why they're going.
Your budget is a copy of manifesto. Mysuru Moda, Allu, Akajanalu ಕೂಡ ಸರ್ CM ಅಕ್ರಮವಾಗಿ ಸೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂತ ಆರೋಪ. ಕೆಲವು ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಲೀಡರ್ಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಸೈಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಆರೋಪ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
For every aropa, his reply would be only counter aropa. He won't explain about his own. I have not done wrong. Ek bar, at least once let him say it. No, for every aropa, counter aropa.
Ma'am, your budget is a copy of Congress manifesto. What Rahul Gandhi has said. Has he accepted your budget?
In a way, that's what it means. But on the apprenticeship, they also kept saying, you're giving apprenticeship, right? You're not giving jobs. But Congress said we'll make apprenticeship as a right. Even they were not giving jobs. And they were going to give it as a right to every youth. And when they come out of that, they are not going to give them jobs. We are giving jobs also, skilling also, and apprenticeship also. So this is not the kind of well thought out plan that we've come up with. Congress can never come up with, because they always believe in tokenism. Throw money, finish it off. Throw money, finish it off. So how can we copy a poorly made scheme from them?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening us from the central governments to Karnataka. Thank you. Thank you, Vijay sir. Thank you all the journalists, media persons, cameramen,
But the
everybody.
press
Thank you.
release consists of most of the things that I've said, both in English and in Kannada.